Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't want to tell me now, I can't.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid.
So thank you for joining today's live. We're going to take you over to Magic Mushroomville, and we're going to talk about Joseph Emerson.
Indescribable feeling, a whole new world. Don't you dare close your eye.
Okay, guys. So this live is going to be about, obviously, the pilot that tried to take down the engines. Make sure I'm not muted. Nope. Looking good. Looking good. They said it was a medical thing and he freaked out. Yeah, well, we'll go over the affidavit here, and it will say everything anyway. Now, I'm not going to lie. I've done this stuff myself. Magical shrooms back in the day. This is I'm 54, so this is back in my, before I was 20, I believe, a few times. But anyways, we'll get into that. Hey, Miss Dog Lover, a pilot on Magic. Well, when I was reading that, let me just say this. Well, we'll read it, and then when we get to the part about it, we'll talk about it, okay? Ooh, whole big 7 people watching right now. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. So let me make the screen bigger here. And then I'll just go over to the document here. So affidavit in support of criminal complaint and arrest warrant. Tapara Simmons Jr. being duly sworn in, do hereby depose and state as follows. Introductory and agent background. I am a special agent of the Federal Bureau, so FBI, and have been since February 2023. I'm currently assigned to the FBI Portland Field Office, Violent Crimes Against Children, so VCAC, and Violent Incident Crime, Domestic VIC-D, where I investigate violations of federal law, including but not limited to bank robberies, crimes against children, and other violent crimes. As a special agent with the FBI, I receive extensive training in law enforcement techniques, and in conducting these type of investigations, I am trained in investigating a wide variety of violations of federal criminal law, having received over 800 hours of training at the FBI Academy. As a federal agent, I am authorized to investigate violations of laws of the United States, and as law enforcement officer, I'm authorized to execute warrants issued under the authority of the United States. Prior to joining the FBI since March 2019, I was a sworn federal law enforcement officer for the United States Secret Service in Washington, D.C. This affidavit is submitted in support of a criminal complaint and arrest warrant charging Joseph David Emerson with interference. Gee, did I spell his name right? I think so. With interference with flight crew members and attendants in violation of whatever that number is, as set forth below. I have probable cause to believe that Emerson committed that crime. This affidavit is intended to show only the sufficient probable cause for the request, complaint, and arrest warrant, and does not set forth all of my knowledge about this matter. The facts set forth in this affidavit are based on my own personal knowledge obtained from other individuals during my participation in this investigation, including the law enforcement officers' interviews of witnesses, a review of records related to this investigation, communications with others who have knowledge of the event circumstances described herein, and information gained through my training and experience. Let's see, applicable law title provides that an individual on an aircraft in the special aircraft jurisdiction of the United States who, by assaulting or intimidating a flight crew member or flight attendant of an aircraft, interferes with the performance of the duties of the member or attendants to perform those duties, or attempts to conspire to do such act, shall be fined under the Title 18 imprisoned for not more than 20 years or both. Special aircraft jurisdiction requires that the offense occur while in the aircraft in flight as defined in 49 USC, and that number there. Okay, statement of probable cause. So on October 22nd of 2023 at approximately 6:11 p.m., Portland of Oregon police officers responded to a report of an inbound aircraft, Horizon Airlines flight number 2059, tail number N660QX, flying to Portland International Airport due to an in-flight disturbance. The initial reporting from police dispatch was an off-duty pilot who was named Joseph D. Emerson, hereafter referred to as Emerson, sitting in the cockpit jump seat of the aircraft, attempted to shut down the engines during the flight. Responding police units interviewed the two pilots. Pilot 1 was flying the aircraft and said that prior to this evening, he had never met Emerson. During the initial stages of the flight, Pilot 1 said that there was zero indication of anything wrong, and Emerson engaged both pilots in casual conversations about types of aircraft. Pilot 1 advised that the incident occurred approximately halfway between Astoria, Oregon and Portland, Oregon, while the aircraft headed south. While sitting in the cockpit jump seat, Emerson said, "I'm not okay." Pilot 2 turned and observed Emerson reaching up and grabbing the red fire handles and pulling them down. Pilot 1 explained to the interviewing police officer that by pulling the red fire handles, this effectively activated the aircraft fire suppression system used to extinguish aircraft engine fires. Pilot 1 added that the activation of the fire suppression system would shut off the fuel supply to the engines. Pilot 1 grabbed Emerson's wrist while Pilot 2 declared an in-flight emergency. Pilot 1 said Emerson initially resisted him and then physically engaged for a duration he estimated to be 25 to 30 seconds, and then Emerson quickly settled down. Pilot 1 asked Emerson to leave the cockpit, and Emerson exited the cockpit. Pilot 1 estimated that from the time Emerson told pilots he was not okay until Emerson exited the cockpit was approximately 90 seconds. So Pilot 2 advised that at the beginning of the flight, Emerson engaged in a casual conversation with both of them about the weather. Emerson told the pilots that he, Emerson, had been working for the airline for 10 years. Then during the flight, Pilot 2 observed Emerson throw his headset across the cockpit and announce, "I am not okay." Pilot 2 observed Emerson grab both red engine shutoff handles. Pilot 2 advised that Emerson had to be wrestled with for several seconds before Emerson stopped what he was doing. Pilot 2 declared an in-flight emergency, turned the autopilot off, and changed the aircraft's course to fly to Portland. Once Emerson exited the cockpit, the pilot secured the cockpit door. Now, Pilot 2 advised the interviewing police officer that Emerson was unable to pull the red handles down all the way and fully activate the engine shutoff due to the pilot's wrestling with Emerson. If Emerson had successfully pulled the red engine shutoff handles down all the way, then it would have shut down the hydraulics and the fuels to the engines, turning the aircraft into a glider within seconds. Pilot 2 stated that Emerson's action interfered with their ability to operate the aircraft. Responding officers interviewed several flight attendants. During the flight attendants received a call from the cockpit that Emerson was losing it and he needed to get out of the cockpit. Emerson was observed peacefully walking to the back of the aircraft. Emerson told one flight attendant that he just got kicked out of the flight deck. Emerson said to the flight attendant, "You need to cuff me right now, or it's going to be bad." The flight attendants sat Emerson in the flight attendant's seat in the back of the aircraft and placed cuffs on Emerson's wrists. During the flight's descent, Emerson turned towards an emergency exit door and tried to grab the handle. A flight attendant stopped Emerson by placing her hands on top of Emerson's hands. The flight attendant engaged Emerson in conversation in an attempt to distract him from trying to grab the emergency exit handle again. Another flight attendant observed Emerson make statements such as, "I messed everything up," and that he tried to kill everyone. The flight attendant noticed Emerson take out a cellular phone and appeared to be texting on the phone. Emerson was heard saying he had just put 84 people's lives at risk tonight, including his own. Responding police officers interviewed Emerson. The officer learned that Emerson was seated in a flight attendant seat in the back of the aircraft. Emerson had a pair of flex handcuffs around his hands in front, and he was also secured by a seat harness. Officers detained Emerson and placed him in a patrol vehicle. Officers read Emerson his Miranda rights, and Emerson agreed to speak with officers. Emerson's police interview was recorded. Emerson advised that he believed he was having a nervous breakdown and had not slept in 40 hours. Emerson said he was an employee of Alaska Airlines and had been a pilot since 2001. Emerson said he felt dehydrated and tired. Emerson confirmed that he sat in the cockpit during the flight. Emerson said, "I didn't feel okay. It seems like the pilots weren't paying attention to what was going on. They didn't. It didn't seem right." Emerson also said, "Yeah, I pulled both emergency shutoff handles because I thought I was dreaming. I just want to wake up." Emerson denied taking any medication, but stated that approximately 6 months ago he became depressed. The officer and Emerson talked about the use of psychedelic mushrooms, and Emerson said it was his first time taking mushrooms. Emerson was brought to Portland Police Department while in custody and in front of the officers. Emerson asked if he could waive his right to an attorney. Emerson said, "I'm admitting to what I did. I'm not fighting any charges you want to bring against me, guys." Police units inspected the cockpit. It was noted the proximity of the cockpit jump seat to the emergency shutoff handles. Officers noted that the handles were clearly painted red and had EXTG printed on them. Based on the foregoing, I submit that there is probable cause to believe that Joseph David Emerson committed several violations of Title 49, United States Code Section 46504, and request issuance of a warrant. So then it says, prior to being submitted to the court, this affidavit, the accompanying complaint, and the arrest warrant were all reviewed by the Assistant United States Attorney, Leah K. Bolstead. Bolstead advised me that, in her opinion, the affidavit is legally and factually sufficient to establish probable cause to support the issuance of criminal complaint and an arrest warrant. Okay, so that was obviously on that date. Okay. Who's Miranda? Well, Miranda is Miranda rights. That's Miranda, the Miranda rights. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So now I was reading. Hold on, let me just stop screen for a sec, guys. And I want to just go over to, okay. So obviously this is who we're talking about here. Joseph Emerson, and he was on the Alaska Flight Airlines. And he was in the cockpit. So I think we are talking about, oh, hey, Charmaine, how are you? Lisa, Crystal, how are you guys? So before we were talking about, well, how did he get in the cockpit? Well, okay, so obviously that seat is that third one inside the cockpit. So obviously he had access because he was sitting in whatever they call that little seat there. But so that's pretty crazy and pretty scary. Now, what did I read here? Okay, so this one's just, I believe this one is a tad bit different. Is that page 1? Let me see. It's been duly sworn. So this says, I, Anthony Dundon, have been duly sworn to dispose and say that accompanying accusatory instrument is based on the information set forth below, which I'm just trying to see here. Maybe I should make that bigger. That I'm employed as a deputy district attorney in Multnomah County, Oregon. Why can't they make things easy to say? That in the course of my duties, I've read the incident, and I know I had have been prepared by the Portland Police Department officers Hargrove, Thoman, Baker, Geyser, Landry, Heartless, Galloway, and Orsi Soria, whatever, Osorio, concerning the investigation of the criminal acts. Okay, so let's see if this says anything just a little bit different here. Because obviously it's a different person. So on October 22nd to 6/11, which we already read, officers were dispatched. Yeah. Laundry located Emerson on the flight and was taken into custody without incident and advised of his. See, there's Miranda again. There's that Miranda, Miss Doglover, Miss Per Miranda, and elected to speak with officers. So I'm not really going to read that if that's pretty much the same stuff. Different person, but same stuff. What's this one? No, what's that one? This one's for criminal complaint by telephone or other reliable electronic means. I, the complainant in this case, state the following is true to the best of my knowledge. Anyways, interference with flight crew members and attendants. Let's see. Did this one say anything a little bit different? Okay, so this is page 2. So let's see. He's Thoman, that he pulled both emergency shutoff handles, and Emerson believed he was dreaming. Thoman asked Emerson if he was trying to kill himself during the incident, and Emerson did not answer the question. Emerson reiterated he was trying to wake up and did not feel like this was real, though it felt real now. Emerson admitted that Emerson struggled with depression for 6 years. So in one we had 6 months, and this one's saying 6 years, and that a friend had recently passed away. Emerson reported to Landry and the medical personnel that he had consumed. Okay, so this is part I want to talk about here. Landry, that he had consumed magic mushrooms approximately 48 hours prior to the incident on the plane. Emerson stated to Landry, I don't understand why you were showing me so much kindness. I'm obviously effed up. Okay. Has anybody in chat ever done magic mushrooms? Just passed a car that says, look like a cat lady driving it. Okay. Has anyone here personally done magic mushrooms? I'm just going to raise my hand right now and say, yes, I have. Back in the day. I did once. So he was on shrooms while flying in the previous Who Dis. Correct. So I personally want to say this, okay? I've done both acid and mushrooms. Again, this is for educational purposes only. Okay, guys. Back in the day, okay? I think when I was 16, this is when I was with Dion. Me and him caught the same bus to school, and me and him anyways, our relationship lasted like 11 years. It that was the most abusive relationship ever. But anyways, so he was the one that actually introduced me to acid with this little cartoon piece of paper. But let me tell you right now, there's no 48 hours about mushrooms, okay? So unless you're constantly taking more and more, there's no 48 hours. When you take a hit of acid or you do mushrooms, 24 hours tops, okay? 24 hours. There's no 48 hours unless you're constantly popping it back, you know? So that's where I'm confused because they're saying that so when you're on mushrooms and acid, you distinctly know that something's usually wrong with that person. Okay. So, like, if someone smokes weed or marijuana, usually their eyes are red and, you just kind of feel like you're hungry, whatever, you're just chilling, nothing major there. But when you take mushrooms or acid, that's like I said, a psychedelic type drug. So your pupils, first of all, are freaking full blown dilated. Okay. You look in that thing, and when you're on acid or mushrooms, people have whatever trips that they have. I pretty much stayed in my own brain. I didn't have no freaking fairies flying through the air or wild mushrooms popping up in front of my face and pink bunny rabbits driving across. I didn't have anything like that. But you definitely typically know when somebody is on it because usually they're laughing a lot. And you can just notice the difference between when somebody's being normal. So they're saying that they didn't notice anything different about him. And this was his first time. I don't give a crap if it's your first time. There's no 48 hours when you do acid or mushrooms. Like I said, unless you're, you know, coming off of it, because so acid and mushrooms, they keep you awake. Okay. So basically, you got all the energy in the world, unlike marijuana, where it usually makes you more mellow and whatever. But acid not has the opposite effect. Mushrooms, you're like awake, wide awake. You're laughing at the stupidest stuff ever, and it's definitely, like a little mind F going around. Definitely, I would say psychedelic. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the worst I ever did, that was the worst I ever did. For me back in the day, because, a lot of us are older here, right? 54 now. This is back in my 20s, right? 16, not even 20s. It was like 16 to 19 or 18 or something like that. And then I had a bad trip on acid and then I just stopped doing it. Mushrooms, I actually liked mushrooms more because it wasn't quite as intense as acid. But that was the worst I ever did. So back in the day, right, you had your, coke and heroin and stuff, and that was to me like, yeah, it's everyone's each to their own, okay, but that was to me crossing the level. Anything to do with injecting or snorting and stuff like that, no, you weren't even allowed in my house. And then the moment Dion's brother brought that stuff into my house, he literally put me in a neck hold because I told him to get out, because that to me was just crossing the line. Each to their own lines, okay? But anyways, see you later, Lisa. Have a good one. So that's why I have a problem with that statement. Here, let me just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. 48. So magic mushrooms approximately 48 hours prior to this incident. So that's why for me, so the only thing that he could have possibly been doing is if he was doing it and then taking more. Okay, because you don't spend 48 hours freaking, like freaking psychedelic on shrooms. Right, Charmaine? I can't imagine flying a plane. I literally could not, laughing for 2 days. And yeah, I've been there. Whenever the teacher was saying a joke, I would not laugh. And then my friend is literally across the entire, our classroom. And she looks at me and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, started laughing. Right. And that's when the teacher, and I'm just like, I gotta go. I gotta go. I went all the way down from fourth floor in frickin' the high school to first floor at the other end, and I barely made it to the bathroom. I was laughing so hard. You're just laughing as you keep running, but it's not one of those things where it lasted no 2 days either. It was, basically it's kind of like a 24-hour thing, if that. But I just say 24 hours because, it takes a bit for it to kick in. And then but it's kind of like a 24-hour thing. And then you're just awake. So it's saying that he was awake for like 40 hours. So he could have possibly been just taking it. And it won't phase me, of course, if someone offered it to him. And if it was his first time and somebody offered it to him because of the therapeutic, things that they're saying that mushrooms has. Okay, so I mean that's just asking. That's just asking. Because I remember the first time that I did acid too. Like I said, that was the first time. Was on the bus. I took it just before school. And at first you're just like, nothing's going on. Nothing's going on here. And then all of a sudden you're just like, holy. Like that your brain is like not functioning, to be honest with you. But you know what? I want to say this as I'm talking about it. Between acid and mushrooms, I would say that alcohol is still worse. That when people drink alcohol and get drunk and intoxicated and whatever, I think that people behave a lot. I think that that's more lethal. I think that alcohol is one of the most lethal ways of always taking people's lives. But I can see why this guy, when you're on that type of a psychedelic drug like that, oh, definitely. Like your thoughts, you could, like I said, you could see people coming at you. It's almost like, how would you explain it? It's really hard unless you've never done it. But it's almost like if someone were to come in my face right now, it'd be like, "Rah, rah," and I'd be like, like you can have these weird thoughts. And that sounds like what happened to him is that if this was his first time, that shit hit him. And he was freaking probably freaking out. He's on a plane. And that's really kind of what happens if people can't handle it. If people can't handle taking the drug and they've never taken it before, yeah, like I can see like why he would say handcuff me or else it's going to get bad, because it's almost like you're not really in control of your thoughts, because your thoughts can be very warped and out of this world, when you're on that stuff, yeah, and microdoses. So I wouldn't doubt if perhaps, like, let's just give him the benefit of the doubt that he was going through depression. Maybe, the medical attributes, that are talking about therapeutic attributes that, I've seen it many times lately. And I remember when I first heard that therapeutic for mushrooms, and they're sitting there doing it on some of these shows on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, what was it? Like Rogan or whatever. And I'm like, oh, really? When did this happen? That it has these healing attributes or therapeutic attributes or whatever. So giving him the benefit of the doubt. So let's say that someone had some, or he had heard about it, got himself some, let me put it this way too. I don't live in the United States over there, but it's not exactly easy just to go out and go, excuse me, do you got some mushrooms? And I'm sure we're, so I don't know. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. It is his first time, but if it was, I would say that he knew someone that got him some or told him how to get it or who to buy it from or something. Because it's not like you just go down the street and go, oh, I'm just going to go get some mushrooms. Not like weed, okay? It's just not like that at all. So that's why those little question marks are in my head about that, because you just don't walk out and go, yeah, you got some mushrooms I can buy, or it's therapeutic. But anyways, no, and so, but so I could see his actions. If this is somebody for the first time using it, and it doesn't have to just be the first time, but you're on a plane, you're enclosed, your brain is literally, you can have the most wicked, weird thoughts. But like I said, if you're in a depression mode, it's kind of like alcohol. If you're a miserable mother effer anyway, and you want to sit there and drink, chances are you're not going to be the nicest person in the world. Like if I drink, I never get nasty. I don't like I get happier. But some people, like Dion, the person I'm talking about that first introduced me to mushrooms and acid, that's my abusive 11-year relationship. Yeah, it's like I don't even know. I lost my freaking thought on that one, to be honest with you. As soon as I was looking at, what was I going to say? Sorry, I was talking about alcohol. That's it. Thank you, Charmaine. It was off of your comment. Um, so he turned in to that, like when we couldn't go to a wedding, we couldn't go to a funeral, we couldn't go anywhere without Les becoming the worst alcoholic ever and always causing a fight, you know. So if you're depressed, even though mushrooms and acid do the alter, like they're like a happy pill, really. A happy pill, but you're kind of like out of, like, like I said, you're it's not one of those things that you can just go away, go back to normal brain. You have to wait till it wears off, right? You start coming off of it. And that's like at least a good 8 hours for sure. Um, but if he's depressed though, and like I said, his mind's doing stuff, I could I could absolutely see him losing it and doing exactly what happened. And I actually feel sorry for the dude. So if what he's saying is true, because the chances are, like I said, it's going to be because of the depression that he used it, and if it was his first time because he felt like it was something that was therapeutic for whatever, then and like crazy. But I'd actually feel sorry for the dude because you look at the guy and you know that he's a nice guy. You could, like, someone that's sitting on their plane playing their little guitar and stuff like that. You can see it in his aura that he's a good guy. And like him saying in this whole thing here, right? It says, I don't understand why you're showing me such kindness. I'm obviously effed up, you know? And that's the thing. So this guy obviously has no qualms admitting to what he was doing. Um, but obviously he's in a bad place in his life. But thank goodness for the fact that he didn't get control of the plane, that these people are alive by the mercy of God, that they were able to land, and get him off the plane. But there's that piece of me that, this isn't one of these cases where I feel like he's the big POS. I feel like the guy had issues. What do you guys think? I don't know. Like, these are just my thoughts. Like, what do you guys think? Do you guys feel bad for him if you've kind of read this and realizing that he was going through depression or some mental health issues? I always have a hard time with that because it's like, well, where do you draw the line? Like, I mean, everyone can claim that they have mental health issues. Pretty much everyone does, it seems like, to be honest. But there's a difference between, what I would never put in that category besides being depressed or having, yeah, I mean, I would still call them mental health issues, but I think that to me, there's different categories in a sense, I don't know. That's my own thoughts. Hi, CJK. I know that there's not a lot of you watching. So the ones that are, get off your lazy butts and hit that little keyboard. Because let's see here, 34 minutes. If not, I'm just going to get off the live till the next one tonight. That would be 3 today. I was actually making a video on this, and then I get lazy because then I'm like, well, it's easier just to do a live. Sometimes it's easier to do a video, but in this case, when there's like 6 pages of affidavits and stuff like that, sometimes it's just simpler just to do the live. It's really stressful in my job. It's causing me mental health issues, working 10 to 12 hours a day. I'm so tired. And I get that, I get that, CJK, you know. Everyone has their different levels of what they can handle. And yeah, you're probably, like I said, stressful, you're burnt out, you're tired. And it does create, I'll call them mental health issues, in a sense, because, there are obviously things that are impacting, like the first time I ever had any sort of mental health issues was when I was going through my divorce back in 2013. I didn't know what depression was. I knew I was tired. I knew all these symptoms. So I thought I would Google it, and I could pretty much check mark like 8 out of the 10 boxes that there was. So I clinically diagnosed myself because I was like a zombie. I was like getting up like Groundhog Day, doing the same thing over and over. My son was hurting me because he was sticking up for his dad that was being abusive to me and mean and, cruel. And, the marriage is going down the toilet and you can watch it. I could sit there and watch it. Couldn't do nothing about it because you can't fix somebody else that has issues if they don't want to help themselves, because you just become the direct target for them to blame on everything. And my family all lived here in BC. I literally had nobody besides my dog at the time until he was killed December 7th of 2012. But other than that, like I went through this depression, and honestly, when I thought about it, like years had gone by. I never took anything. I never took pills. I just remember that there was a few people that walked up to me, CJK, and said like, you lost, like you've lost your spirit. The Sunny I remember, always happy go lucky and but you seem to have lost your spirit. And that was probably the best thing somebody said to me. She was a good friend of mine. She worked at Walmart. And when she said I lost my spirit, I knew exactly what she was talking about. But she was probably the first person to put it in words where I was like, I needed to pull myself back out. And it took every freaking ounce in me to do that. But not everybody's capable of doing that stuff either. I've been in depression, like in the recent last couple of years as well, like in and out of it. A lot of it. Well, I'm not even going to get into that stuff. What do you say? That there's not enough hours in a day. It doesn't stop. Customer service. Oh yeah, I've been customer service all my life, and hospitality is the title, but it's so much more. Large global company, retail oriented. Yeah. I take medication for depression for 6 years and still on them. Brooke, you know, I have this mindset, and I'm not sure exactly how old you are, Brooke, but I'm 54. And in my growing up, you were taught to suck it up, and be this strong person. Like you didn't go to pills. It wasn't like you didn't go to pills, not like it is today, or not like it's been for however many years now. It was one of those things that no matter what in my mind and how old I get, I know that pills are there, but my mind tells me, no, you know, I'm strong enough to fix myself. But then there's that part of me that says, that wonders what the difference is. Like, what does a pill do that helps fix your brain so that it is more balanced? Like, I don't know. Can you actually, Brooke, since you're here, can you tell me, like, can you tell me in the best way you can, tell me what it was like in a sense when you don't take a pill, and when you took the pills, how they've affected you. Like, did you notice it instantly or in a couple of weeks? Like, did it just improve your mood? Like, I have no clue. I've only ever taken, you know, the basics. Like, I take diabetes pills now, but I've never taken anything. Well, besides when I was in the hospital and they gave me morphine. Ha, I swear I never wanted ever that stuff. When they gave it to me, besides the once I asked, she put it right in my IV. I was like, oh, I was like this. I was like, huh? Couldn't even hold my head up. It was a little bit too much morphine, I think, on that one. But I was like, oh, the pain is gone. Happy days, happy days. Um, well, that's true, right? Stepport with Steffa. Hey, girl. Um, mm, 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 mm. Is your strep throat gone? Well, I don't think your strep throat could be gone because I've had that once, and my son's had that a couple times. It's not very nice. But anyway, um, that's just it, right? I would say I more judged people back in the day. Like, what do you mean you need to take pills? Like, God gave you a brain. You don't need to take pills. Use your own brain to cure yourself. But that was being ignorant, I guess, and naive to the fact that that's kind of when you're in your own mindset and you think that everyone thinks the same way or does things, but it's just not the case. There's strong personalities, weak personalities, passive personalities, you know, meek personality. There's so many that everyone handles things in a different way. You know, I was just always taught to fix yourself, like, so that's why it's kind of like, when you grow up in your home, and that's just kind of like, you know, it wasn't something you did. And even it spills over into you growing up because it's kind of like in your mindset, like, no, if I take pills, it means I'm weak. It means that I can't fix myself. So that's what it's always meant to me, that if I take a pill for depression, it means that I'm weak and I can't deal with my own stuff, that I need pills to fix me. But it's not, but I know that that's not true anymore. You know, it's crazy. My sister-in-law is a pilot. High GP happened at her station. Oh, really? That's crazy. That's cray, 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 cray. Let's see. There is natural remedies also, right? But I don't if they work or well. The natural supplement for sleep doesn't do anything for me, but some it knocks them out. Yeah. Brenda Taylor was located and is safe. Missing endangered person advisory update. Brenda Taylor was located and is safe. The MEPA was canceled. So if anyone knew about that, whoops, where did it go? She's safe. I tried different medications for depression, and I feel like they don't do anything for me. Okay. Let me just read that one. That's good stuff. Good to hear. All right. If you want to join us on the live tonight, Steffi, you can. It's up to you. Just let me know in Messenger if you decide you want to. I was on antidepressants after my brother passed. I was in a fog for a year. Don't remember much of 2018. I took myself off them. That's just me, though. I know. Right. Well, I don't necessarily think that pills are meant to be on forever. Certain pills, anyway, right? Sometimes people just need it for a bit because they're going through a lot. So I get that. Yeah. And I definitely understand that whole fog thing. That would be me in 2012. Yeah. 2012 and part of 13 there. Just, it's like you're like a zombie. Like, it's almost what I'll call it fog. It's like tunnel vision. It's like you don't even see what's beside you. You're just walking and you see people coming at you and you don't give a shit whatsoever. you're just in your just own world, and you're barely holding your own body up, you know, just to get by every day. I used to stop taking them because I hate to take tablets, but this time I've been off them for 6 years. But if I don't need them for a couple of days, I feel dizziness and unwell. Oh, I guess that would be because of being on them. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, there's got to be some sort of effect, eh? You know, off coming off of pills, taking pills that long, eh? My hubs thinks that he needs something bigger because he has a bit of a temper. He has a bit of a temper. Are you being lighthearted on that? It's more of a bigger temper than what that is. Uh, I'm not about strong and weak. It's chemicals, serotonin, dopamine, sinuses in the brain. I'll agree with you halfway because what I'm going to say there is that doctors throw medication at people left, right, and center that don't necessarily need to be on it. There's a lot of people that just because the doctor said, but like I said, a doctor can sit there and tell me I need to be on it, but I know truthfully with myself, I don't need pills. You know, I can fix myself. I don't need pills. Um, it's just I'm sure it will. I feel like sometimes like for me that would be like a flu medication that you're just kind of covering the symptoms a little bit. That's how it would be like for me because I know that I have the brain power to pull myself out. It's just a matter of, like I said, I have a very strong-willed brain. So I do think it makes a difference on that. Um, because some people just don't have that strength or don't want to. And, yeah, give me some pills, doc. Fix me up. Fix me up. But I'm not a doctor. I don't know about, you know, um, chemicals of the brains and all that stuff. I just personally talk for myself, but I still feel like, some people really easily take whatever's given to them, you know, meds, and I function regularly. Well, the thing see, because I've never taken them, I'm trying to understand that feeling of, so if you're feeling like really depressed, taking the pills, like it, there obviously has to be a transition there, right? From feeling like this to feeling like you're more balanced. So I guess that's what the pills do is hit those certain little, neuron things in there and, balance it out. I'm on sertraline 20 milligrams. So, and Proma. Ooh, and that's all for the same thing, Brooke? Like that's all to do with depression? As an anti-nausea. Oh, okay, so thank you, Stefan. As an anti-nausea medication. Okay, you must be in Europe. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Look at Steffa go. So maybe one help. So maybe if one of the medications makes you nauseous, then the other one kind of combats the nauseousness, I suppose, eh? Let me see. Well, I've been in that spot very rarely. I've had my days. Then I tell myself to stop feeling sorry for myself and get the heck out of bed. I've had those. You know, like that, like, I've said this before. I would never say I would take my own life. I've said that multiple times in the last 5 years, you know, just because, but it's kind of like, I don't know. It's something I would never say, but that's when I know I'm in depression. Because if you want to, it's basically like you just don't even want to talk to the world, really. I remember my husband, like what he said to me last week was, because for me, if I'm alone with my own thoughts, I don't know about you guys, because I'm a thinker and because I'm a deep carer type person, and that's why, like I've told you guys before, that ignorant people, rude people, all those people, they get underneath my skin in a sense for the fact that is that you go through life and you help people and you do things for people all the time. And then you come to this part in your life where you're like, why is everyone so freaking miserable? Like everybody. People are so willing to try to take you down instead of help you out. And in my family, if they could kick you while you're down, they will. Oh, let me help you. Right. Okay. And then my son, right? Like I said, saying the most evilest things to me over the years, the ex-husband. And inside you're like, what did I do? What did I do so wrong that I felt like all these darts are coming at me? And the truth is, nothing. I know I didn't do anything. I know I've been a giver and a helper and a carer. And yet you just wonder why, all these people around you are just shooting darts because their freaking lives are so miserable and they're so angry and they want to blame people for their own freaking issues. That's the problem, but I get tired of those personalities. And yet then in turn it makes me, and I was just having a conversation about this with someone, but then in turn it makes me feel like I'm being one of those people because now I don't want to deal with people. I like coming on here because like my husband said, you need to communicate with people. If you have too much time to think, you like basically I get into my depression mode, right? And I don't like to even claim that I get depressed, but I do. I don't like to claim it because I never was this. I'm a happy-go-lucky person almost all the time, but I have those moments where it just feels like you're just tired of existing, tired of people, tired of the cruelness of this world, tired of just everything, and I hate to ever think like that, because I know you make out of it what you want. And yeah, you can push those, but they're so thick. Like you negative people that are out there, you guys are thicker than thieves. You guys like exist to me. 75% of the world is like negative people that are selfish. They're just ignorant and they get just, like I said, to me, 75% of the world is like that. When I was younger, it was more like 25%. So you just kind of crawl back into your shell, and that's why I appreciate the loyal supporters of the It's a Crime and Shame, are people that are just deep caring people about others. You guys are loyal followers. You're not fake. You guys might lie to me sometimes and say this and that in a sense, because people can barely tell the truth half the time. But the people that I love being around are the supporters that truly stick around because they have great, genuine, caring hearts themselves, and I hate fakes, can't stand, false pretenses, take that crap and go away with it, So that's why I know when we have only certain people watching the lives, usually it's like 17 to 21 that truly care about the channel and will watch this channel regardless of what topic they're talking about. So tired of everything, but I don't want to be one of those people, you know, but I do prefer just coming online now, and talking with you guys, the guys that, the most of me, than going out there and dealing with it. And just like CJK, right? All my life, I've been in retail sales, in hospitality at the hotel, dealing with people. And the thing is that I actually really enjoy it. I enjoy doing things for people. I enjoy, like I said, when I was a, hotel manager, general manager, that I could give people free pool parties and I could keep doing things. That's why one day when this channel grows and people donate a lot more and stuff like that, I really want to go around and be able to take that money, at some point and just be able to give back. I love watching those shows when people go to the homeless, or, and give them a lunch, or, buy them a few things that they need and stuff like that. I look forward to that day that this channel can do that. At this moment, I can't. I'm sorry. From my $3,400 to my five, right now, I'm like lucky if I'm at like 260 this month, you know. And it's because, to be honest with you, it's because I've been in a depression for about a month and a half now of trying to understand where I want the channel to go. It's like I get up to go make a video, and then my brain just shuts down, and I go, yeah, I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow, and stuff like that. And I know that that's not doing me any good. I need to kick myself back in the butt, get it giddy up off my freaking horse there, and get going again, you know. But it's hard sometimes when you feel depressed. And it's like you wake up and it's like, that's kind of how it's been for me for the last month and a half. That's why you haven't seen a lot of videos or a lot of lives, because I just wake up going, and you feel lost a little bit too, but yet I'm defeating my own purpose. But anyways, one day this channel, when it has the ability to, I just really, from when people donate and it makes money off revenue ads properly from YouTube and stuff like that, I want to do videos where, we take that money and we go out and give it to, and help people, help others. Simple as that. It's the best feeling in the world. If somebody isn't like that, but I know you guys in here are like that. But if somebody's watching this video that isn't like that, just do something nice each day for somebody. Like, I like it when my husband would calls me up sometimes and goes, guess what, honey? I did my good deed for the day. I let somebody in, which means when he's driving that you let somebody in. I could have been an asshole, he says, but I wasn't. I let somebody and I'm like, good for you. Like, that's something as simple as that, right? Just being like, yeah, dude, no problem. Cut me off. I don't care. Yeah. That's wonderful. My therapist has changed my life. I need meds to even talk to her or understand her. Stephanie needs drinks when she needs to talk to me. Depression and anxiety affects so many. Absolutely does. That's what I have a hard time, because when you're somebody that has always been happy-go-lucky, and then you find yourself in those depression and anxieties and stuff like that, it's like, no, go away. Shoo, you're not me. You're not me. But those things are, and I feel as you get older, that the anxieties and that more kick in. And I think a lot of it, for me, at least for me, is to kind of to do with you're getting older. You start needing to have reading glasses on and all these different things. Your body feels weaker. You're freaking breaking down left, right, and center like a freaking car. Your freaking hood's up. Your big backyard's getting bigger and stuff like that on the boot. And it's just like, gravity is just, And I think that sometimes brings an anxiety on itself, because you're like, no, I don't want to get old. I don't want to be weak, and stuff like that. Boom, 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 boom. 12:30, huh? Husband's going to be off in half an hour. Yay. Yeah, it really does. You may need med changes after years on medication that worked. Yeah. Yeah, she really is good. I'm always at home. The only time I leave is to see her shopping. Brooke, I wish I could come give through this screen. I was going to have to give you a virtual hug, you guys, on there. There is situational depression, which can get through temporarily with meds or no meds. Clinical depression requires, yeah, absolutely, Steph. I know that, like this is your cup of tea, your specialty and stuff like that. For me, I can really just speak for myself, but it took me out. Like, I didn't think about stuff like this. So, because like I said, back in the day, it was more ignorance, because nobody I really knew took, at least in the family anyway, took medication or anything like that. And so then you start, Once people get over thinking that not everyone thinks the same way they do, they're going to be better off. And that's pretty much what happened to me, is that you don't think about it, but you're using your own brain. And that's why when people are talking about morals and different things, great. In your world, whatever you want your morals to be, have at it, But that's why I say don't displace your morals, what your bar is, what your standard is on me, because that's not right. You can't do that, you know. If something pisses somebody off because they don't like their morals, then don't watch or something like that, right? But don't ever displace your own morals or your own thoughts. Everyone has the right to their own thoughts and what they do or how they do things, and it might not be right. For instance, we'll take that Tracy and Tim Ferreter or whatever, right? We know that that is past morals. You don't stick a kid in a freaking box because this kid is a wild child. That's just something you don't do. There's no right about that. That is definitely abuse. So that I will judge on, you know, versus, well, some people put their hand at the bottom of their child if they're being bad, and stuff like that, and think nothing of it. Where I personally don't do that whatsoever and don't like it and think it does nothing. But does that mean that whoops, oh, almost slipped my mouse there, So I guess it depends on what level. But each to their own, right? I don't get into anybody else's business and don't care. But if you come into my space and it affects me somehow in a bad way, then it's a problem. That's in 2004, and it has been a real struggle. Yeah, GB, and your family, you guys, I'm sure you've been through a lot. I know even with Dottie and that, like Miss Dottie. Oh my goodness, you know, I I could never imagine going through those. I don't know GP's full life and anything like that, but I know you guys have had some very, very trying times, and yet, to be honest with you, um, like you guys possess more strength than most people, to be honest. Um, because that's the fighter. Some people take their lives because they can't handle stuff. I started my channel. You did, yeah, yeah. Well, you could find someone. There's lots of people. I'm pretty sure that Greeno said he was looking for a co-host himself. Poor Mustafa. I'm pretty sure if you just looking at the right people, maybe wife Lilith. I don't know. You know, maybe that fly bird or whatever his name is. Maybe one of those ones be willing to step up right beside you. I got Charmaine for Canadian cold cases, so I think most people are struggling in one way or the other these days. It's truly sad. It's a sad state in Canada and the U.S. and around the world. Seems more normal. It does, to be honest. I get torn on it because, like I said, I see a lot of people self-diagnosing themselves. Like these young people. They don't, I'm sorry, but they don't. Most people nowadays, for the younger generation, because it's so different and the world has changed and it's so freaking lazy, and you basically can pretty much claim anything you want and get away with it. It's gone too lopsided that way. Definitely. But it definitely is like a normal, you know. I think probably back when I was younger and stuff, we just didn't talk about that stuff. Like you never just talked about that stuff. I just hate it when things get abused. Okay? If you truly have mental health issues going on, and you truly need that handicap freaking parking spot, and you're not scamming to get it, and or to abuse it, because I've seen a lot of people abuse the system, and that's why it pisses me off. Is because there's people out there that truly need the help, and these people that fake crap all the time just so they can get assistance and different things pisses me off to no end. That they just abuse the system for the people that truly need it, and I see that all the time. That's why my back gets up, because you sit there and try to do everything right, and then these people are getting free money, free freaking assistance, putting on these fake handicap things just so that their butts, are too lazy to walk a little bit further, and stuff like that. And it just pisses me off when I see people abusing it. I knew nothing about mental illness until my 8-year-old told me she's right. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Well, hey, Alexa. She's just in here for a quick one. All right. Let's see. Steph, same situation here. My boyfriend ended up being diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, but it was a hard time watching his spiral. I had no choice but to get educated. Yeah. I got, like I said, educated in a lot of ways, including to myself because of that freaking narcissistic freaking I that guy must have topped every disorder out there. I swear to God. Anyways, it was a very much of a learning experience because I had no clue about disorders up until meeting that freaking narcissist. Oh, such a bad narcissist. He's a 500-pound narcissist. And imagine dealing with someone that's literally sitting there talking to you like you're the biggest piece of crap. And you're thinking, I can fix you. I can fix you. You know, I can see what's going on here. You hate yourself, but I can fix you. Huh. Anyways, biggest lesson ever learned there for me. I'll tell you that. I never looked up so many disorders or knew about disorders. But it taught me a lot about myself. Of it taught me there was things that, like, for instance, that you don't think about. Um, you know, like um like why? Like, for instance, like I know you guys take this personality test and da 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 da, but you already know who you are as a person. But sometimes I'd wonder why, like, where did I get this deep protective caring thing from? I remember, you guys, when I was like literally like 2 3 years old, and my real dad, rest your soul, he's a jerk off, but anyways, he was a pathetic father. But anyways, I would wake up in the middle of the night, me and my twin sister, and that we would like, and I think Paula too, whatever. Anyways, we lied, in our beds. I think our beds were actually on the floor. But anyways, I remember when I'd hear the smashing of an ashtray out of my parents' bedroom because they had one of those glass mirrors on the door. And many nights I would take my little blanket and I would literally lie in the hallway because in case something happened to my mom. I was legitly 2 and 3 years old, remembering that I did that. I've always been a protector, you know, but it's stuff like that sometimes when you're reading about disorders or reasons why, perhaps like a lot of times it's just recollection, like you forget about these things that happened in your life that created, this pattern or pathway, of being a certain way. And for me, I've always been a protector, if people try to bully people or just, that fear and stuff like that. If I, like I said, if I think back to it, like I definitely do have separation anxiety. There's no, there's nothing about that, but that again relates to some of it because of what happened to me and my family when we were younger, to the paper bag RAPIST guy and stuff like that. And then these fears come out when you're older, but you're just more aware. And thank you for the internet, for the ability to be able to look up stuff like that. That's what I love the internet. I love the internet just to be able to, for instance, be talking to you guys right now, right? Back in the day, who would ever have thought this would have ever happened? That you can look up recipes, you can go into groups, you can, everything's just at your fingertips away with the internet. That's the wonderful thing I love about it, that people can create YouTube channels and that. Sport with Steffa. Hello, lovely lady. I saw you sitting at the court when I heard it got canceled. Oh, yeah. On there. Let's see. Nat the realist. Sounds like MK Ultra victim. Thought he was dreaming and didn't think it was real. Yeah, and that absolutely can see that. Because again, you're, like I said, each to their own what they go through, but it's definitely a psychedelic thing going on. My friend, that I worked with when I was like 16, 17, 17, I think. Anyways, she did acid, which is virtually the same thing as mushrooms. Okay. Just mushrooms. I wouldn't, I think that mushrooms is a little bit more mellower. But she was driving to work and she legitly got to, so she told me when she got to work, like one of those sea trains. Okay, you guys aren't famous. Sky train, trains, those things that take you around to different spots throughout the city, your sky train, sea trains. So in Calgary, it's called the sea train. And she literally told me that she drove up the sea train. So instead of going around to the road, she literally turned into the sea train. And she said that she saw little pink bunnies crossing the road. And I'm like, ooh, I mean, I've had some trips, but like nothing. For me personally, I'm a very grounded person in my brain. No matter how drunk I am, I remember everything. No matter when I did mushrooms or acid, I would still remember everything. Like I never had these weird things. The only one thing I could say I had this one time when I was smoking pot was that the walls felt like they were coming closer to me because I was feeling claustrophobic. I don't know. It just something hit me that night. But anyways, but some people, like I said, so she was seeing pink little bunnies crossing the road, and I'm like, really? Like, each to their own. So I can see that this guy thought that he was in some sort of dream because, again, if you haven't done it before, you won't know what it feels like. But if you have, you can understand it. We're sitting in the court of 5 hours. Yeah. Well, that's nice support with Steffa. Mm-hmm. I think your favorite one, though, was Mama. That was your favorite one. Pretty sure you said that. I'm getting less of a disorder vibe and more of a deeper connection. You're talking about the Emerson guy, right? On this one, less of a disorder and more of a deeper connection. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, good for you. As the best thing you can do. You guys just know now I'm just humoring you guys, and I'm not ending the live because I'm being selfish and hogging some more of your time right now. Yeah. Do for your partner and yourself getting those types of diagnoses is to get educated. Yep. Mark goes out to you. I was in charge of my daughter's treatment, so I cannot imagine it being a boyfriend because you have no way to control the treatment. You know. At least meeting people was worth it. As long as they're good people. What do we know about his military? He does have military background. Yeah. I had his thing open earlier. I think I closed off now. Yeah, is in the Air Force. He was a specialist in the aviation, engineering, and stuff like that. Um, wait, am I talking about the right person? Hold on. No, sorry. You're not going to forgive me. I'm talking about the case I was talking about earlier today. That one. I think this guy does too. Yeah, the guy I was talking about earlier. I'm getting the cases confused all of a sudden now. Too much stuff going on. I know I looked him up. Everyone seems to have some sort of, yeah, I'm sure he did. Yes, it was challenging. And I always knew I had the choice to leave, so I got to imagine, yeah. Yeah. Not sure what MK stands for, though. You tried a video call? Hmm? Mm-hmm. Alexa, I'm coming up on Sunny's channel to tell my story from that day. Yes. Just let me know when. If you want to talk about it tonight, let me know. Well, you're a victim of me. That's what you're a victim of. You know, yeah. You're the victim, not me. You're the victim. Such a stalker, too, by the way. Oh, you effing pig, Florida woman throws tantrum. It sounds like something Zephyr would do. Would you do that, Steffa? In the court, you effing pig, Florida woman throws tantrum. It sounds like something you would do whenever people dish your tree specialist, expertise. That was funny, actually. I missed Adam saying that because Adam made a funny comment about your expert tree advice. And it was only because I watched that part back that all of a sudden I realized sometimes he said something and I pretend like I'm listening, but I'm really not. And then because I'm too busy reading the comments, and then I'll just be like, because I know he's laughing, but I have no idea what he said. I'm bad for that. I never used to be, but I am. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I sat by Sunny's best friend. Her name is Momo. Momo. I don't like getting drunk. I can't stand losing control. I was always the designator. And you know what? We appreciate people like you, Alexa. We appreciate people like yourself. Yeah. Alexa, if you're, what is today? It's Wednesday. Wednesday, yeah. I don't know. Whoever want, if Alexa or Sporo Steph want to join the live tonight, just let me know in Messenger. If not, I don't care. I don't love you anyway, probably then. Yeah. Or Charmaine, you have that option as well. I was clarifying you stating about the victim when I shared the story about the beginning of my 8-year-old daughter's mental illness. Yeah. Yeah. That's so hard to hear. I mean, I have to commend single parents, that have to deal with the brunt of, taking care of everything. And just the basics in life is already hard enough, you know. But when you add those extras in, um, you know, I've always um, I've always felt sorry for but applauded single parents that have to take the brunt of everything. They have to, like, you know what I mean? They're constant, kind of like sometimes men feel like they feel like they're the providers if their wife stays at home, and they feel this anxiety or this obligation, like that, extra stress is put upon them. You know, you should have thrown a tantrum. Alexa, same. I cannot stand losing balance and motor control. I can't imagine. For me, once in a while, just getting effed up drinking, it was very rare. Like, I mean, when I got there, but I still was pissed because I remembered everything. I just remember, okay, my finest moment. Can I just say this? My finest moment was I was at a strip club. It was my birthday, and my Dion's mom wanted to take me to a strip club. Now in Alberta, he's got to be 18. Anyway, so that's why we were there originally. And so I was so drunk at some point that I just remember leaning my head, on the toilet roll thing and going, I'm so drunk right now. And then I'm sitting there going, okay, you can do this. Get off the toilet, you know? And I just remembered, like, that was the most intoxicated I ever was. Didn't throw up. But I tell you, man, the world was spinning. And I was its roller coaster. That's for sure. Yeah, that was probably drunkest. I always just remember laying my head on the toilet roll going, oh my God, I'm so drunk. Okay, get your butt back up. Truth liquid. I agree 100%. My friends used to act like such idiots while intoxicated. Um, then the next day they had to go do damage control. Yeah. Oh, Dion's mom, absolute bitch. And she always played the amnesia card the next day. Oh my God. She was an absolute bitch when she was so freaking ignorant when she was drunk. She could be fun too, but honestly, Dad was. I call him Dad because like I was with my Dion for 11 years at that point, 16 to 26. Anyways, Dad was the fun one. Mom, she was a freaking bitch. I'll tell you, I can't say she was a bitch enough. She was just ignorant, and then she would claim amnesia the next morning. I don't remember nothing. What? What? Shut up. I mean, maybe she didn't, but it's hard for me, somebody that remembers everything, to believe that somebody legitly is not remember. Like, how do you claim amnesia all the freaking time? It just doesn't seem likely. Hi, Lilith Kane. Slotty and late catching up to. Yep. We're just talking about, well, I mean, for anyone that is coming in or watching this, we're just talking about like, the shrooms, the magic world of shrooms and, 48 hours. And, there's no shrooms out there by taking it once that's going to keep you up for 48 hours. I mean, you're not going to be in that psychedelic thing. Like I said, that's usually about an 8 to 10 hour type of feel. Maybe a little bit longer, but then you start coming back off of it, usually about the 8 hour mark though was usually when you kind of came off. So to me, maybe this guy was popping back more than just the one time, like maybe after he was coming down, like, ooh, I'll just take a little bit more. If it was truly his first time, he wouldn't know the difference. Oh, I'll just have a little bit more. But I mean, once that shit hit you in a half an hour, like usually takes about an hour, half an hour to an hour for like shrooms to hit you. But there ain't no 48 hours that you're going to be, unless you're packing back some more mushrooms, on that. So that's what we've just mostly been talking about, with this pilot. 40s now, I'm 49. Oh, yeah, you're so old now. Next year, you're 50. Remember that? It did it? Yeah. I wish we could all live around each other. I'm fine, by the way. I'm fine. And stuff I know is fine. Alexa, I think we'd have to pull her a little bit stuff out of her shell. I think she's fun, but I think she needs a little bit of pushing, I think she's a little bit more controlled than we are. Getting drunk always sounded more of a chore than fun to me. I know exactly how that stress is. Single mom of 3, worked 2 jobs, the best I could do, but I know that I missed out on things. Always stress, absolutely. That's the thing, yeah, that's the thing with children, is that to me, and I think this goes like, even back to us when we were whatever, you don't appreciate your parents, until later on. Truly, most people don't appreciate their parents and the struggles. I have always appreciated what my mom, I had that ability to always remember I mean, honestly, I was always very aware of how poor we were and how much my mom struggled when she left our dad, because he just couldn't control money. Like I said, 2 toy stores, gone, you know. Like today, those toy stores would probably be worth a few million each, to be honest with you, because they were right in the prime vicinity of Vancouver and Blood Alley and Gastown. But like I said, my dad could not manage money, and my mom ended up leaving him and basically just kind of lived a very mediocre poverty life for a while there until my mom met my stepdad at the time. Then things got better, but we always struggled, for sure. And but I always find it funny how, like, okay, I'll even take my son, right? He doesn't appreciate the mother that he's had. And yet most kids would want to be loved with the love that I could offer children. Um, and so it's like you see it in your eyes, your way, because you're the mom, you raised him, you wiped his butt whenever he needed it, and all this stuff. And they don't appreciate that stuff. But the bottom line is, like, what I notice with my son is, you know, um, they build up whatever thoughts they want to, however they want to choose to see you, as a parent. So, like I said, you could work your ass off, GP, and do all of these things. Not to say that yours did, but I just mean in general. You know, like you said, struggle, do everything you can, and that one child out of the three might turn around and think that you were the most shittiest parent because you were poor and you couldn't give them this and that and da. And then they'll turn around saying you didn't give me no attention and I was the black sheep of the family and blah blah blah. So I always find that funny how, like I said, you could do everything and anything, but like my son, if he wants to see me a certain way, even though I know it's the wrong way, but it's how he sees it, and I can't change his view. I just think that that's such a weird thing, and it's gonna have to take years or whatever before like they come around. But it's just so weird to me how you can have all these children in a family, and they're all so different. One might be a very selfish child, one might be a very caring child, one might be a very mean, nasty child, and stuff like that. And they all determine how they deem you as a parent and stuff like that. You know, my sister too, like for the most part, she raised her kids. She had to become like the freaking plumber, the freaking everything. Ginger, I think my ma is doing well. It's the first time I met her. We sat next to each other in the courtroom. So she's on court TV too. I only seen you. Like I was just too busy. I was going, there's Steffa. Because Steffa was like right center, it looked like. Rabbi Keating got off alcohol by going on to one of those psychedelic healing places in South America and it worked. He was a bad alcoholic. Oh, that's good. That's good. I have great drunk stories. I would love to go out with you. We could get into some trouble and document on this channel. So I only just came home and jumped on X. All right. Hey, Amethyst. Someone likes purple, huh? Yeah. Truth liquid. The whole drinking out of my mind. In college, it's a very American thing. I grew up with liquor around me. My parents never hid bottles, but I never drank. See, I was never a big drinker. But I didn't like alcohol, and I wasn't a big drinker. But back in the day, I mean, that was a typical thing that we did on the weekends. Was Dion's parents always drank? Ooh, I've been selected for a survey. Nice. And so it was typical that whenever there was like typically on the weekend, his parents would be like, okay, we're going to the bar because it was like $5 a pint or whatever, right? But I was never a huge drinker. And so when I drank, because I didn't really like the taste of booze, so when I drank, I would do it to get drunk. So if I'm going to waste my time drinking it, I ain't just having one and drinking that nasty stuff that I called beer for any reason. So if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to get drunk. So that was always my mindset because I really didn't drink a lot. Then as you get older, you're like, ooh, what's this strawberry freaking cocktail, freaking margarita thing going on, But back in the day, it was just a pint for $5. Same nasty shit, weekend after weekend. I shouldn't say weekend after weekend, but his parents, they were totally bar people. It was good times, don't get me wrong, but I was just, not this big drinker. And still to this day, I drink it here and there. That's about it, but that's pretty much about it. You looked beautiful on TV there. Soak it up, Steffa. There's your 15 minutes of fame. Well, maybe it was more like 10 seconds while you're on it, but I have never done drugs. I tried pot one time at 30, but threw up. I could see that. Alexia, you're spot on with it being such an American thing. I think so. And the movies too always show it too. Hey, with this. Oh, you have fibromyalgia and medical marijuana. Cardin, because yeah, my niece has that. My niece Paige, little meth head that she has that, and she has everything pretty much. It seems like, but it sounds very, very painful to have that. Just for to we'll give you a medical card. And yeah, what time is it? It's 1:00. I have lupus. Oh yeah, and fibro and can't wait. I couldn't. Well, I mean, knock on wood. Um, I feel so badly for people that have chronic pains like every day. It's bad enough when you get a stomach ache and it lasts, but most things go away. When you have to deal with like body pains and stuff every single day, you know, you could, mm, you know, I can't forget Alexa there. She's our brain healer warrior from was it cancer, right? Was it cancer? Was it cancer in your brain, Alexa? Well, I'm pretty sure it was cancer. You know, it was cancer, right, Alexa? You know, Alexa's lucky to be alive and with us today. Mhm. It's like being on shrooms, but also the sensory deprivation tank helps and is like being on shrooms, but you're not. But you're not. It's crazy. Moving Mustafa. It's Mustafa. Yeah, they will never allow Ivy. Okay, what time is it? Oh, cool, 17 people. You guys better not forget to like this. Okay? I was unselfish and I sat here giving you guys my time. It wasn't that I wanted to talk to you guys so much as I felt like I'm giving you guys my time. So I feel like you guys can appreciate that by hitting that like button. It's not that I need you guys. I didn't want to sit here and talk just because I had nothing better to do or nothing like that, right? Just kidding. I did it for yes, my husband always says, you know. Scratch my back. Honey, you're doing this for yourself. It's making you feel better. Not really, husband. You're always freaking asking me to scratch your back. After a while, it's like, is that all I do when he comes home? He's like, honey, come here, lie down. Let me squeeze between your, coconuts. Yes, that's right. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I almost thought I was forgetting there, Alexa. My dog gave me the MJ wink for pain. MJ, yeah. She brought it up during here. I want to take care of it tonight. Yeah, CJK. We'll see you tonight. 17 people. I better stay on. Anyways, actually, no, I'm going to get off now. I appreciated talking with you guys about it because I know that, like I said, whatever will transpire with this case, this guy's obviously effed up his entire life. And, I'm sure I'll be curious to see how this turns out for the time that he gets. Because bottom line is, he attempted to take the lives of himself and whatever, but will he get off on mental health issue? You know. Mm-hmm. I gotta call my husband. But yeah, so we'll see how this one plays out. I don't know. Feel bad for the dude. I really do feel like these drugs. Like, yeah, I feel like he's a good person, and everything went just totally sideways. And being on mushrooms, uh, yeah, mushrooms. If it's his first time, bottom line is, mushrooms is a psychedelic. Simple as that. Weird things happen. You see things that aren't there. Your eyes are totally dilating and stuff like that. So, anyways, whoever wants to join the live with me in Aspen tonight, you're more than welcome to, but you have to let me know. Other than that, you guys take care. See you on the Delphi live tonight. Yeah, I will have to rewind. It's not a long one really. I mean, I basically read the affidavit straight away from the start. So that's all you need to really do if you want to learn about it is just read the affidavit. I also put it on my Twitter. I put the link to the affidavit on there as well if anyone wants to see it. But anyways, you guys, take care. Love you guys. Love you, love you, love you. And we'll see you at 7 p.m. No, I will see you at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mwah. Bye, guys. This is Sunny Justice and Aspen Connor from It's a Crime and Shame Wishing you all a good night. Hi, my love. Are you still driving?
Yeah.
Oh,
5-6 minutes till that.
you know what? Hold on, honey. Hold on. So I had a big loogie in my mouth and I didn't know what to do with it. And so, no. So listen. So I thought that I ended the live stream, but I can literally see that I'm still like on the live. Did you guys appreciate that? Did you guys appreciate that? Yeah. So I totally forgot to end the stream, like meaning I did the intro, but I was too focused on calling you that I legit totally forgot to end the live stream. Huh. So anyways, just okay. Where are you? Are you at the shop yet?
5 minutes, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll call you back in just a bit here then. Love you.
What?
I said I will call you back in just a bit then.
Okay.
When you reach. Well, okay. So don't forget to stop then at the store. Or are you getting KFC? Did you say?
Yeah.
Okay. And don't forget to stop at the vape store for me. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Love you too. Bye, honey. Bing. Okay. So, okay. All right. Okay. So, okay. You know what? I should be so embarrassed that I literally had all this phlegm and I went to go and I'm sitting there. I have this fucking loogie and I'm sitting there going, and I'm looking at the can and I'm like, nope, let me just grab this. And I spit into my freaking muffin freaking thing or whatever. And then I'm looking up and I'm like, it says end stream. Wait, what the frick? I haven't ended the stream. I was too busy focused on calling my husband because I'm looking at the time going, oh, I don't want him to forget to go to the vape store and whatever before he goes to KFC. You guys suck. Oh, that's funny. Oh, you guys, that one has me cracking up now. Now I'm going to have to wait for this video to end, edit out the part. Anyways, if you want to catch a good loogie, whatever time I did that. Oh, my goodness. Okay. I guess I should say goodbye. Okay, guys. Oh, I'm going to end stream. Bye.